Please subscribe and support this channel for more epic sci-fi and HFY stories. The galactic frontier stretched endlessly before them, a tapestry of stars that had witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations. Here, among the burning nebulae and ancient trade routes, alien fleets moved with the confidence of apex predators. The council races had carved up sectors like meat, their vessels darkening the void with their presence. Humanity was but a whisper in their grand design, fragile upstarts clinging to a single blue world, barely worthy of notice. The Clither admirals gathered around holographic star maps, their scaled fingers tracing routes through human colonies marked for conquest. They spoke in harsh, guttural tones about the coming harvest, about how these soft-skinned mammals would serve as excellent slaves once their spirit was broken. But whispers have a way of spreading through the darkness of space, carried by traders and spies, filtered through encrypted communications and hushed conversations in cantinas across 1,000 worlds. The rumor began as nothing more than scattered fragments, classified blueprints, glimpsed by alien intelligence agents, unusual shipments of rare metals to the Sol system, massive energy signatures detected near Earth's orbital shipyards. The humans are building something, the whisper said. Something massive. The Clither commander Vexton dismissed such tales with a contemptuous growl, his amber eyes gleaming with predatory amusement. Primitive creatures, he snarled to his subordinates. What could they possibly construct that would concern us? Their largest vessels are but toys compared to our dreadnoughts. Yet in the cold depths of space surrounding Earth, something unprecedented was taking shape. The orbital shipyards hung in perfect silence, their construction bays shrouded in electromagnetic screens that bent light itself. Engineers worked in zero gravity, their welding torches sending cascades of sparks that danced like fireflies against Earth's blue curve. These were not ordinary workers, they were humanity's finest. Men and women who had volunteered for a project so classified that even their families knew nothing of their true purpose. In the command center, human admirals exchanged grim looks as they reviewed the construction timeline. Admiral Sarah Chen's weathered face reflected the weight of an entire species' survival. "It must be ready before they arrive," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Below them, on Earth's surface, families gathered on rooftops and in parks, sensing something momentous approaching in the darkness between stars. Young cadet Marcus Rivera sat in his quarters aboard the construction station, writing what he believed would be his final letter home. His pen moved slowly across the paper, each word carefully chosen. "If this ship fails," he wrote, "humanity fails. But if it succeeds, the galaxy will never be the same." Across the void, the alien armada was mobilizing, their massive vessels emerging from hyperspace jumps, like predatory leviathans. Reports flooded into human command, centers colonies bracing for annihilation, defense fleets taking desperate positions, civilians evacuating to bunkers that might as well have been graves. The tension rose like a tide across human space, while from the shipyard came only silence, as if the universe itself held its breath. And in that silence, something magnificent and terrible was taking final form, a shadow that would soon eclipse the stars themselves. The alien armada entered the outer edge of the Sol system with the confidence of conquerors. Thousands of ships, their hulls scarred by countless battles, their weapon ports glowing like hungry eyes in the darkness. Across their communication channels, war chants echoed in a dozen alien tongues. A symphony of violence that had heralded the doom of countless civilizations. Their leaders laughed as they reviewed the tactical displays, one small planet, one weak race, soon to be added to their collection of subjugated worlds. "They call this system Sol," Admiral Vexton mused, his claws clicking against his command console. "After today, it shall be known as another graveyard." But aboard a vessel hidden in Earth's shadow, something extraordinary was stirring. Cryogenic chambers hissed open with clouds of vapor, revealing the crew of humanity's greatest secret, men and women chosen from every nation, every walk of life, united by a single purpose. The ship had been christened in a ceremony witnessed by only a handful of officials. HSS Resolute. The name carried weight, embodying not just human determination, but the species' refusal to yield to extinction. Inside its corridors, raw power hummed through conduits the size of subway tunnels. Captain Alina Vasquez stood before her assembled crew, her voice carrying across the vast hangar bays and weapon platforms. "This ship is not just steel and ceramic," she declared. "It is Earth's heartbeat, made manifest. We are not just a crew, we are the fist of humanity. And today we show the galaxy that we will not go gentle into that good night." The engines ignited with a sound like the birth of stars, a deep harmonic that shook the very fabric of space-time. Alien sensors throughout the system suddenly blazed with warnings as they detected something impossible. An energy signature so massive it dwarfed their most powerful dreadnoughts. Confusion rippled through the alien command structure as officers struggled to interpret their readings. "What is that?" came the panicked transmissions. "Where did it come from?" The answer emerged from Earth's shadow, like judgment itself. HSS Resolute revealed its full magnificence, a metal titan that stretched 4 kilometers, bristling with weapon arrays that could crack moons. Its size defied everything the galaxy thought it knew about human engineering. This was no mere warship. It was a declaration of intent, a monument to human ingenuity and determination forged in the fires of necessity. The alien armada fell silent. For the first time in their long history of conquest, the predators felt something they had almost forgotten: fear. On communication channels that had moments before echoed with war chants, only stunned silence remained. The Resolute turned toward the invaders with ponderous grace, its engines blazing like twin suns, casting light across the darkened hulls of ships that had never known defeat. On Earth below, citizens pressed against windows and gathered in public squares, watching the sky with tears streaming down their faces. Children pointed at the new star that had appeared among the familiar constellations. "It's real," mothers whispered to their young ones. "They actually built it." Commander Vexton stared at his tactical display in growing horror, as the true scope of the human vessel became apparent. His scaled hands trembled as he calculated its mass, its power output, the devastating potential of its weapon arrays. This was beyond anything in the galactic databases, beyond the comprehension of species that had ruled space for millennia. "Fire everything," he commanded, his voice cracking with desperation. "Destroy it before the order was unnecessary." Every ship in the alien fleet had already begun targeting the impossible human construct, their weapon systems screaming as they prepared to unleash the combined firepower of 1,000 worlds. Beams of coherent energy converged on the Resolute from every direction: plasma bolts that could boil oceans, particle beams that could shatter asteroids, missiles carrying warheads that could sterilize continents. The space around the human battleship became a maelstrom of destruction, a light show visible from the surface of Mars. For a moment, it seemed as if nothing could survive such concentrated annihilation. Then the storm cleared, and the Resolute still moved forward, its shields flickering but holding, its hull unmarked. From 1,000 alien bridges came the same cry of disbelief. "It's still moving." The Resolute's response was measured, deliberate, and utterly devastating. A single weapon fired not the massive primary guns that could be seen bristling from its hull, but something smaller, almost experimental. The beam that emerged was barely visible against the cosmic background, a needle of coherent light that crossed the distance to the nearest alien dreadnought in microseconds. The result was immediate and absolute. The kilometer-long alien vessel simply ceased to exist, not destroyed, but unmade. Its atoms scattered across light-years of space in a burst of radiation that painted the void in brilliant colors. The shockwave of that destruction, both physical and psychological, rippled through the alien fleet like a plague. Communications channels fell silent as crews stared in terror at empty space where their flagship had been moments before. This was not battle as they understood it. This was something beyond their experience, beyond their comprehension. For the first time in millennia, the apex predators of the galaxy understood what it meant to be prey. Captain Vasquez stood on the Resolute's command bridge, watching the tactical display as alien formations began to waver. Her officers reported incoming retreat vectors, ships breaking formation and fleeing toward the system's edge. Marine Colonel David Hayes stood beside her, tears streaming down his weathered face. "My God," he whispered. "We actually did it. We actually built something that can stand against them." The Resolute plowed through the enemy lines, like an ancient battleship cutting through wooden sailing vessels. Alien captains screamed orders in languages humanity had never heard, their voices rising in pitch as panic set in. Some tried to rally their forces, calling for coordinated attacks on the human vessel's weapon hardpoints. Others simply fled, their ships streaming away from the Sol system at maximum velocity. The carefully orchestrated invasion dissolved into chaos as ship after ship abandoned the field. Admiral Vexton sat motionless in his command chair, staring at the tactical display that showed his mighty fleet scattering like leaves before a hurricane. The propaganda of generations crumbled before his eyes. "Humans. We're not weak. We're not primitive. We're not easy prey to be harvested at will." The evidence floated before him in the form of a ship that should not exist. built by a species that his people had dismissed as inconsequential. We never recorded this possibility in our databases, he whispered to his tactical officer. How could we have been so blind? The silence that followed was not merely the absence of sound, it was the presence of terror, spreading through the alien fleet like a contagion. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds now fled from a single human vessel, their crews' minds reeling from the implications. If humanity could build one such ship, how many more might follow? What other surprises did this supposedly primitive species have, waiting in the darkness? The battle, if it could even be called that, was over in less than an hour. The scattered remnants of the alien armada limped toward hyperspace jump points, leaving behind the wreckage of their certainty and the bodies of those ships, brave or foolish enough to test humanity's new might. The Resolute stood alone amid the debris, its hull gleaming in the light of Sol, a monument to human determination and ingenuity. The galactic communication networks blazed with emergency transmissions as word spread from system to system. Humanity has a battleship, the messages said. The humans are no longer defenseless. Council chambers that had been planning the division of human colonies now fell into heated debate about how to respond to this new reality. Some called for massive retaliation, others for immediate negotiation. All understood that the galaxy had changed forever in a single moment. On Earth, celebrations erupted across every continent. Fireworks painted the night sky in brilliant colors as billions of people looked up at the stars with new hope. Children, who had been taught to fear the darkness beyond their world, now saw it as a frontier to be explored, rather than a source of invasion. In military academies and shipyards around the globe, new plans were already being drawn, new vessels being designed. The age of human expansion was about to begin. Captain Vasquez stood on the observation deck of the Resolute, looking out at Earth's blue curve through the transparent aluminum viewport. Behind her, the lights of the ship's corridors stretched away like the arteries of some vast mechanical heart. In her hand, she held a communication device connected to every human settlement in the galaxy. Her words would be remembered for generations to come. This was the first, she said simply, her voice carrying across space to reach every human ear. It will not be the last. Today we proved that humanity will not kneel before any conqueror. Today we showed the galaxy that Earth's children are not prey, we are the storm that comes after the silence. And this storm has only just begun. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to this channel and support us so we can post new videos every day. Your support means the world.